People often talk about Bruce Lee's physical power, the speed of his punches, the sharpness of his kicks. But those who really knew him used to say something different. The strongest part of Bruce Lee wasn't his body, it was his mind guiding the body. Behind every move, there was awareness. Behind every moment of strength, there was stillness. He believed the outer warrior and the inner warrior are one, and that mastering both is the path to true power. When Bruce Lee first began training seriously, he was obsessed with technique, the perfect stance, the fastest strike. But over time he realized that physical perfection without mental presence is hollow. You can throw 1,000 kicks a day, but if the mind isn't calm, those kicks are scattered energy. The real weapon is focus, the union of mind and body. That realization changed the entire way Bruce trained. Instead of separating mental training from physical training, he merged them. While others just practiced punches, Bruce practiced awareness. He would stand quietly, breathing deeply before each session. Every representative had purpose. He used to say that the body should obey the mind instantly, without friction, without hesitation. When that harmony is achieved, even a simple movement becomes powerful. Everything Bruce studied pointed toward that unity. From Taoist philosophy he learned that rigidity brings weakness, and only fluidity brings life. From psychology he understood that emotions shape performance. From philosophy of self he realized that thoughts become actions. Each field became a mirror reflecting the same truth. There is no separation between the physical and the mental. They are threads of the same cloth. To demonstrate this, Bruce created routines that looked strange to other fighters. Between explosive workouts he would meditate, observe his thoughts, study his breathing. He was training his nervous system as much as his muscles. If he felt anger or frustration during training, he didn't suppress it. He observed it until it lost control over him. That kind of mental discipline was rare in combat sports, and it gave Bruce a completely new type of power, control under chaos. In one interview, Bruce explained that most fighters tense up before contact, wasting energy, losing fluidity. He kept his mind calm so his body stayed relaxed, and that relaxation gave him speed. Where others fought with tension, he fought with rhythm. It's the same way a musician feels the beat or a dancer feels movement. Complete awareness makes the body flow naturally. Bruce practiced what could be called dynamic meditation. Each kick, each punch was both workout and reflection. Imagine the intensity, sweat dripping, heart racing, yet mind steady like still water. That was Bruce Lee's secret: storm outside, calm within. His notebooks were filled with reminders about keeping this balance. The consciousness of self is the greatest hindrance to the proper execution of all physical action. In other words, the moment you start thinking, "I must look good," or "I hope I don't fail," the body stiffens and the movement breaks. To move perfectly, you must forget yourself entirely. That was his definition of real confidence. A state where mind and body become one so completely that you no longer try, you simply do. But awareness wasn't limited to training halls. In daily life, Bruce tried to live in the same harmony. He ate with discipline, slept with discipline, read with discipline. Each action, no matter how ordinary, was a chance to practice mindfulness. Even in his most casual moments, he was observing his thoughts, his posture, his breathing. Training never stopped. He was sculpting both character and muscle at the same time. You can see this philosophy in his movies too. In his fight scenes, every motion flows like a thought unfolding. There's no hesitation between idea and execution. The camera captured what his philosophy always preached: mind and body working as a single instrument of expression. That's why even decades later, his fights feel alive. They aren't choreography, they're communication. Bruce pushed this principle beyond the realm of fighting. To him, this mind-body connection was how you master life itself. If the body obeys the mind, and the mind listens to truth, then your life becomes effortless power. Stress, laziness, procrastination, these are just forms of internal disconnection. He believed that when your inside world and outside actions align, greatness becomes natural. Now think about how this applies to us. How often do we move without awareness? We rush through workouts, scroll through screens, multitask through life. Our bodies act, but our minds are elsewhere. Bruce's method teaches the exact opposite. Whatever you do, be fully there. If you're training, train. If you're resting, rest. Unity gives depth to even simple tasks. He also talked about emotional awareness. Fear, anger, frustration, these aren't enemies, they're signals. But if you ignore them or overreact, they control you. Bruce's practice was to acknowledge emotions, then channel them. That's what made him dangerous, not because he had no fear or anger, but because he had mastered them, turned them into focused energy. His famous phrase, "Be water, my friend," is the ultimate summary of the mind-body connection. Water has no fixed shape. It adapts to every container yet remains powerful enough to wear down stone. Bruce wanted our minds to be like that, flexible, aware, strong without effort. The body is the vessel, the mind is the current flowing through it. When both move together, nothing can resist them. Even at the height of his fame, Bruce kept returning to basics. Despite being a global icon, he still trained daily, still meditated, still wrote in his journals. That tells us something profound. Mastery is maintenance. True strength isn't built once. It's cultivated every day through attention and awareness. To build the same harmony, Bruce suggested 3 disciplines: precision of movement, awareness of thought, and purity of intent. Precision of movement means using your body efficiently, no wasted effort. Awareness of thought means watching your mental chatter instead of being lost in it. Purity of intent means acting from clarity rather than ego. Combine all 3, and you align inner and outer worlds. If you practice this in your own routine, results change quickly. Imagine working out while mindful of each breath, speaking while aware of each word, or making decisions from calm observation instead of anxiety. Slowly, your life begins to flow smoother. That's the same state Bruce lived in, not chasing perfection, but perfecting presence. Before he passed away, Bruce said something that summarizes his entire philosophy: the true warrior is the average man, with laser-like focus. That line isn't about violence, it's about integration. Anyone can build strength or gain knowledge, but very few learn to make those two move together. When you do, your potential multiplies. So what can we take from all this? Start noticing. When you train, listen to your body. When you think, notice which emotions arise. When you act, act deliberately. Bit by bit, the gap between thought and action disappears, and life starts to feel powerful, graceful, alive, just like Bruce Lee's movement on screen. The mind commands, the body obeys, the body moves, the mind learns. It becomes a loop of harmony. That's how Bruce Lee lived. That's how he built a body that inspired generations and a spirit that still speaks to millions. And now, the challenge for you: find one place in your life where your inner world and outer world feel disconnected. It might be your fitness, your focus, or your confidence. Spend the next week aligning them. Move with awareness, think with calmness, act with intent. Because when mind and body unite, fear fades, resistance melts, and true strength appears. When you look at Bruce Lee now, don't just see the fighter. See the message behind each movement. The power wasn't in the punch, it was in the presence.